welcome to ConCarolinas Television. I am Bronner,
I'm Ray.
and we are here for a very special panel. The predecessor to this show, our first LARP show in season one, happened to be our highest rated show of the season. So we thought we'd bring these magnificent um, goddesses, creatures, hellhound, horn dog, whatever you want to call the guy down there. He's got horns, and I'm
He's a
scared.
tiefling.
He, don't tieflings have wings?
No,
No?
not usually.
All right, so I guess I'm wrong.
You're a little behind.
The drawings that I've seen have wings. All right, well, welcome. Why don't we go around the horn and we'll introduce ourselves. We're supposed to have one more person, and that's Jess, and she is not here right now.
Technical difficulties.
Technical, like Dondero streams, it happens. But we'll start with you, Steph. Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Well, my name is Stephanie Creed, and I actually attend two LARPs right now. I go to Lands of Exile and Vanguard LARP, both the LARPs that were present at ConCarolinas. And I also own my own LARP store and do LARP supplies and stuff as well. So
Awesome. Nick?
Hey, I'm Nick Barone. I co-own and also help run storytelling content at One LARP, Vanguard LARP. I also play there from time to time, and I'm also a player at Lands of Exile. And I'm here dressed up as the Dark Lord Satan.
The Dark Lord
The Dark
Satan.
Lord.
I'm scared. All right. Save us from the Dark Lord.
I don't know if I can. Hi, my name is Emil Zickafoos. I own King Heron Events that runs Lands of Exile. I'm also a player at Vanguard, and we run a couple other games that I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah,
Heck yeah.
we'll
All
get
right.
into that. So for those in the audience that didn't get a chance to see our first episode, and who are unfamiliar with, give us a brief, an overview. What is LARP? What's going on there?
Somebody take it away.
put it back at one time.
Stephanie's got this.
Stephanie's
Stephanie.
got this.
100%. Yep.
You've been
LARP
nominated.
Oh, okay, thanks. LARP stands for live action roleplay, and it's sort of like playing a D&D game, but you're actually out in the world, in the woods a lot of times, and you do, you act things out, and you sometimes hit people instead of rolling dice and stuff. So it's like improv without an audience, almost. Like there's a plot team, and there's NPCs, non-player characters that come and interact with you, just like in a video game. You usually have a character that you create, and you have so many stat points that you put towards certain skills that you want to achieve, or certain skills that you would like to have in the game, and then the fun ensues. You just dress up and play pretend in the woods, pretty much. So.
I love it.
That sounds like the fun
I love
part.
it.
I don't know about getting it all organized. That sounds like a heck of a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like scary volumes of work. I mean, there's the writing that's involved. I mean, oh my, you know what I mean.
It's hard enough to organize this. And by this,
Right.
I mean him.
Just me. Okay, so I had a question. Okay, so
Before we
go ahead.
I just want to say hi to everybody in chat. Great Big Bear, Neighbor, and April. I'm holding on. I'm doing all right. Not too bad.
Yeah, my poor wife just had surgery on Monday, and you can't even tell. I mean, she looks so good. I'm so happy right now.
Hopefully, it was
She's hot.
sinus surgery, so hopefully we'll get some.
All right. So I had this thing happen. I had a friend Jeremy who played in, a LARP, and all it really was like a war, like a giant war of like two different LARP groups coming together, and they did it every I don't know, maybe every season, but it was like they just had an all-out war. I don't know that they had as creative minds as maybe Lands of Exile or Vanguard, where they had the story and everything going. And but this was just an all-out war. So does that happen? I mean, how do you differentiate like that type of LARP between and your LARPs?
Yeah. So it can. That is a definitely a style of LARP is like a two faction or multi faction just playing out a war. With that, usually the focus isn't on telling a narrative or telling some sort of campaign. Like those sort of games, it's like you sign up in advance, you sign up for one of the armies, and then you go forward and you fight and you do conflicts for the entire weekend. And some people really like that. The benefit to that is you get to do a lot of combat and there's a lot of physicality to it, but the minus is that you lose out on kind of the narrative and the story and that part of it.
The
um
magic.
yeah. All LARPs sort of have a place, and it's about finding the LARP that's best for you. I'm a bigger fan of role play. My background is improv. I like to go out there, tell a story, role play with other people. So for me, going with like a heavy immersion, high role play, high fantasy LARP is sort of the best fit for me. But it's not like there's one LARP that is superior to all. It's just about finding the thing that you're interested in.
My LARP is the best. Right. Awesome answer. All right. What's the next question there,
But no,
young
that's
lady?
very cool that it's tailored for somebody that may not enjoy the role playing aspect of it, but they enjoy the costume, they enjoy getting together. So
Some people just
Yeah,
want to wake up and whoop ass.
there is a more combat
see,
heavier game called Dagahir that has many chapters throughout the United States. And they hit hard, but they have certain different. They use different weapons than what we would use just to be safer.
oh, I can imagine. I mean, you're not whacking somebody with big old stakes.
It's full contact. So
All right. So I know you guys are really busy in your regular lives, but fill us in on what you've done in the world of LARP since, say, ConCarolinas. And we'll start with you since you haven't talked really.
Okay. So Jess is here.
Jess is here.
Hey.
Hey, Jess.
Welcome back.
Do we want to introduce her real quick?
Yeah, Jess, why don't you introduce yourself? Uh-oh. Okay, give her a second. Sounds good. What have you been doing in the world of LARP since ConCarolinas?
Normal people.
Yeah.
Who are these normal people you speak of?
All right.
I don't know any normal people.
So
Yeah, Jess works on a lot of crafts, and at Vanguard she's one of the leaders of a church in game. So she's outfitted everybody
a
with like
church,
tabards and
they're gonna come suck all your blood out, kind of church. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this, or what does like the weather, or how does the weather play a role in?
No, I definitely need
go
to
ahead.
know
You,
because it's hot.
there
It's
you
hot
go.
as balls. Are you guys getting like full on costume, or does that change like what you decide? Hey, we're gonna do this weekend. It's too hot. Let's do something else.
Yeah, so the summer events and like the hot events are always the hardest one because you can always add more layers on to a costume to get warmer, but it's really difficult to cool down. So, um, usually for costuming, you'll just need to take some layers off. Um, I know that at some LARPs there are special rules for like armor per se. So like I know that at Vanguard when it's too hot for safety that um they will like allow you to not wear your armor. But I mean really it's just a matter of taking off layers and getting yourself cool, keeping yourself in the shade, going into the AC regularly.
drinking plenty of water.
Yes.
That's really a good rule, no matter what the weather is, though. Honestly, so
Oh yeah, because that's a lot of layers.
I hate
You
water.
forget to drink sometimes.
You guys
do.
are sweating.
We
Is
have
Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
water?
No, Dr. Pepper is not one.
a lot of us will have a summer kit and a cooler weather kit. So, for example, I have a game this weekend. My summer kit looks wildly. It's the same colors, the same theme, the same everything. It's just more heat friendly than because I wear armor in the colder months, and so does Nick, and we would definitely die. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same. I've got my summer kit and my winter kit. You know, my winter and my normal is to wear like armor and like a cloak and all this stuff and layers and layers. But then my summer kit is like pared down to like a tunic and maybe I'm wearing bracers. That's for my player character because like for that I'm out and I'm active the entire time, so I make sure that that's as cool as possible during the summertime. While also trying to like maintain some form of visual integrity. But for like NPC stuff, I'll be doing this on Saturday. I'll be dressing in all these layers and I'm going to be sweating and it's going to be terrible. I would not recommend it, but it is what it is.
You got to make sacrifices.
Yep.
It is
Suffer
what
for the
it
game.
is.
Get ice packs and just strategically place them everywhere.
All right. Okay, so we're talking about costuming. So you, everybody here was at ConCarolinas? I think I saw everybody
Yeah.
here at ConCarolinas.
Yeah, everybody was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So did we pick up anything special at
Not
the
did we.
con?
We know you did. What'd you pick up?
That you're working into a new design for a new character or something along those lines?
I got a battle horn. It's the best freaking thing I ever bought. You could
It's like
hear it
this.
from yes, and I made this bougie leather case for it that hangs off my costume, and you can hear me from the other side of the play space. So when we were in trouble the first time I blew it, people from like the other side of the camp showed up, and I was like, "Oh, this is magical."
That is awesome.
So that's my favorite thing in the whole world right now.
And you got it
Yeah,
at
it's really loud.
ConCarolinas?
From Seth.
Oh,
Yep.
Steph.
From
From
Fair
you.
Trade Armory and LARP Supply.
Give us a blow.
Oh God,
Light it
in the
up.
house?
Light it
No,
up.
not in the house.
Ah.
Go stand outside the house.
All right.
I also picked up an item from Fair Trade Army and LARP Supplies, which Stephanie is here. Big plug.
Of course.
Considering hydration, it's actually fantastic. She had this like leather canister that was like an over-the-shoulder bag that you can wear, and it has a thermos inside of it. You can put like water in it, probably just water, Gatorade, whatever you want to help
soup for
hydrate.
your family.
Yeah, and it seals up nicely so it looks nice and immersive and can hang on your side, and it can fit with almost any sort of character that you're trying to play.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
You know, along the hydrate lines, somebody in the chat, Abai, I don't know. We're gonna go with Abai. Says if you're not peeing, you're dying. I love
That's right.
it. Because I'm always peeing.
What does that mean?
Because you're not
That
drinking
means
enough
if you're
water.
not drinking enough
Oh.
water to be able to like pee every once in a while, you need to drink more water. You're
Hydrate
sweating it all
or
out
hydrate.
instead. So
All right, so who's the makeup expert out of the group? Or out of
It looks like
the
Nick.
people?
You
Jess.
would think that, but I took way too much time to do this, and I'm still learning.
I'm still
All
kind
right,
of
so
afraid of you right now.
Makeup expert. We're gonna talk for a second because I did theater, and I was very loyal to Ben Nye makeups because it's good quality. It stays on under the stage lights. What do you use for makeup?
I mean, I can answer that. I use a mixture of Ben Nye and also some Marin products.
I love Ben Nye.
Marin is a really great brand.
How do you spell that? M-A-R-I-N? Marin?
M-I.
Mahron.
Yeah,
Maron.
M-E. It's M-E.
Nobody knows.
R-O-N.
R-O-N, yep.
I'm Googling right now. Google.
Google.
Google it.
Hey Google.
All right, what? And
Yeah,
then I wanna-
M-E-H-R-O-N.
M-E-H-R-O-N.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
there we
and-
go. Somebody said it in the chat.
Everybody wants to know, like, how do you keep it on? And then what's the best place to buy it? Like, is there a place that is the best price,
Are we going to
best
Amazon?
value?
You can shop around. I would instead suggest that you go to my friend Stephanie at Fair Trade Armory and you purchase through her store. If you let her know, she can find pretty much anything for you.
God, I
I
love
can.
this guy.
I try to be. I try to be
Bounty points.
accommodating. If I
I'm,
don't
I'm,
have it, I'll try to find it.
I'm
It's like
expecting
a
my
wayward
financial kickback
station.
later.
Right? Who
He
needs
wants a
Dr.
discount cookie.
Pepper?
In terms of keeping it on though, like you've got to get some sort of sealing spray. Like
Yeah.
that will do a lot. Like even so right now I have it on. I'm kind of sweating. It's hard to tell because like it's not running. And that's because I have like a bunch of sealing spray on my face, which helps a lot. And if you have like tears or you sneeze or whatever, it won't come off if
If
you do
you
that.
put under the makeup as well, that finishing spray,
Mhm.
that also helps for longevity
Oh, that's a
Alright.
great idea.
because
Um,
it prevents like the oils from your skin from breaking everything down. Yeah, that was a trick I learned.
Now there are also some alcohol based makeups that I know they
Not
won't
that kind, bro.
not that you don't want to drink those. They won't come off with with sweat as bad.
Not as easily.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And a lot of it's kind of the same makeup that goes into an airbrush. We do have I know at Lands of Exile sometimes they use an airbrush when they're trying to get a lot of heavily costumed NPCs ready at one time. And I know that speeds up the process a lot.
So, who orchestrates that kind of? I'm going to go off script a little bit, but who orchestrates that kind of a thing where you have like all these NPCs? You got to get all the makeup together. You got to get all the costuming together. Everyone needs to know what they're doing
Who's the
and
mastermind?
yeah. How do we control all that?
So I mean, at any LARP you have well, most LARPs you have a storytelling team that is creating a schedule for the event and knows what NPCs are going to have to be ready and when they're going to need to be ready. So a lot of times, we have a lot of really talented makeup artists in the community, and like for their NPC time, they'll volunteer. Hey, I can airbrush these 20,000 NPCs for you, for my NPC time. So the people who are orchestrating it are the storytelling team, but the people who are doing it are often other players.
And everyone kind of
Yeah.
just helps each other out and gets everything ready. And
Yeah.
because to me it
Same.
sounds like I've never been to one personally. I've seen them like I'm having a picnic with my family, and I've seen them out there in the woods. But I always thought, man, that's a huge endeavor.
Some stray LARPers in the wild.
Right, wildlifer.
Crikey!
And
The
going
LARPer
along
in
with
the
like what
wild.
Em was saying,
You're breaking
so
me.
like we'll have people, the storytelling team will go ahead and they'll plan out what they need, and with that they'll decide like what monsters are there, what creatures are there, and then they'll script out what it is that's needed. We have two makeup artists right now at Vanguard. Shout out to Mary Kate and Courtney. They do an incredible job, and they're on hand to do makeup whenever we need. So we'll literally have like 5 people lined up to go monster. If we need goblins, they'll make them up, make goblins, then we send them off and have them do their thing.
It just seems like it's very community. Like it's everybody helping. It takes a village, and everybody's willing to put in to make it successful, and that is probably one of the best parts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
From the outside looking in, it looks like it's a massive Broadway production or something. I mean, it just looks like it's a massive endeavor. I mean,
It's a lot better than Cats.
it's a lot better.
It really is. I know both Emil and I don't know if you own the trailer, Nick, but somebody has a trailer for Vanguard. But there's a big, huge enclosed trailer for
Me and
like
3
all
other
the LARP
people own a
stuff
trailer.
at both LARPs. So like it's always, we're hauling in a bunch of stuff every game. And it does take a village, but that's the beauty of it. That's one of the big reasons I love LARP so much. Everybody becomes your family, not just close friends. Like and now I've been in here for 6-7 years, and I've see these people on a monthly regular basis, and yeah, of course they're going to come real close. So
Oh, absolutely. So, Nick, I gotta ask. As an NPC, and you're trying to maintain that visual um, image, how about your feet?
Oh, how about my feet? Okay.
How about your feet?
Whew,
Like, are we
it
talking
depends. Okay.
full
So
costumes and sneakers, or
no,
are you going all the way?
okay, never sneakers.
Never
Uh, I
sneakers.
I do two things. So I've got Son of Sandlar boots, which are very nice. They look wonderful. They also are very supportive. They're very sturdy. The only issue I've ever had with them, so they're like $200. You buy them, they lace up at the side. They look great, and they can fit with almost any kit that you're gonna do. Um, the only thing is, I found that the soles are kind of weak, so I go ahead and I like take those out and replace them with some Dr. Scholl's, and I haven't had an issue with them. The other thing I do is I also have like a black plain pair of combat boots, and so I'll wear those, and they're they lace up, they tie, but you can usually cover that with pants, or you can put greaves over that, and so people aren't really paying that attention because they're just like plain and black, and they pretty much blend in with anything. And when you wear those for like the course of one event, they tend to break in and fit the mold of your foot. So that way you don't necessarily feel every rock and stump or anything like that. You're actually able to get some arch support. But no, I don't wear sneakers. I think that
Awesome.
they look kind of trashy. But you can get what are they called? Spats or boot covers or whatever. You can cover sneakers and make them
Yeah,
look good. I've just never done that myself.
just not your
my
style.
my first pair of boots for LARP were a pair of combat boots, and they were just black. So yeah, they were. And trust me when I say this, of all the items on your kit, if you're going to spend money on anything, spend it on footwear.
And that's why I
It's
have to ask,
important.
because it is so important with you guys running around. The chat says that moleskin saves lives. A buy.
Yep.
A buoy.
Yes.
Moleskin is that
Moleskin. Yeah, like
like a mole?
moccasins, boots.
Like a mole that was skin?
Not a mole on your face, bro.
Well, they have moles. Like
Moleskin.
aren't
Yeah.
they like
A buoy?
aren't they furry creatures?
So I have
Right?
it on my Son of Sandlar boots on like the place where your ankle would rub up against the leather. I have a little bit of moleskin on there, so that way like I don't chafe against leather with my ankle and have like a big sore or anything.
Or like on the
It does
back
help.
of your Achilles.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's, like a buffer.
Mhm.
Be proactive, not reactive.
All right, so this is kind of what the section I want to get into. And this is like cosplayers versus or LARPers. I don't know what the division is, but I imagine that there is some competition. Um,
Is
I,
there competition?
I imagine there is, but go ahead.
Oh, Nick's got some
Um,
strong feelings.
I got some strong feelings. I do.
I think
And
we're
you go.
all I think we're all cosplayers here
Yeah.
actually. So
Yeah.
I would say that it's more of the Venn diagram is probably more of a circle than you would think.
Okay.
All right,
Yep.
there's some crossover.
I would go ahead and probably venture a guess that most LARPers are cosplayers, or they have been, or like that
But
might have
not
been their
all
gateway into
cosplayers
LARP.
are
Was they
LARPers.
started up, dressing, doing cosplay. At least I did. I did tabletop role playing and I did cosplay, and then eventually I merged the two things. Oh, I also did improv, and then it all kind of came full circle to LARP.
Nice.
But I still do cosplay. Like I dressed up as Doctor Strange at ConCarolinas, which was
I remember
awesome.
that.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I remember that. It was awesome. Very
So-
awesome.
These harsh feelings that Nick has. Is it just, what is it?
I think that both hobbies they're not mutually exclusive. I feel like they actually go really well together in tandem. If you're a really good cosplayer, you're going to learn skills like makeup. You might learn how to sew, which is a skill I'm still working on. But you're going to learn all these costuming skills that are great for LARP. And so and also if you're into cosplay, the next step is like applying your own creativity to create your own character and then live in that space. Like what's more fun than creating something of your own, take your
Yeah.
hobby and turn it into your passion?
So do you consider cosplay as like the part one? and then we evolved into LARPing.
I have an idea for a new T-shirt. If our producer is listening, we want cosplayers. A gateway drug to LARP. Something along those. Thank you, Nick, for that inspiration. But I think it'd be a cute shirt. But anyway,
I agree.
we'll put it in
I
the
can make
merch
it. I can
store.
make it happen in my TeePublic page.
That's right.
There you go.
And we'll just put
It
it in
is
our
like
merch
a
store.
gateway
I
drug.
like it.
Because
I'm
you
wearing
can,
our merch right now.
we're going Mortal Kombat.
That's in our merch store.
But you get, a lot of the basics. Then you start like dipping your toe into it, and then you get addicted. And the next thing you know, you're running around the woods, enjoying yourself
Running
for the whole
around
weekend.
woods. It does seem to me that
Like I can
there's
see myself getting
a
addicted.
lot of passion that you guys must have for this. I mean, I role play, but I don't know about going out there and doing what y'all do. That takes some real commitment and passion.
But I know myself. Like if I did it, I would be there every weekend. Like would I have to? I would be addicted.
By yourself.
That's fine.
It is very addictive. It is very addictive. And then once you play one LARP, you're like, oh, maybe
There's another
let's try a different kind of LARP, or let's travel to Canada for a week-long LARP, or
Okay then.
There's traveling involved.
There it is.
I'm up for it. I'm good.
Oh, now all of a sudden you're good.
Someone make me a leg.
So we have to ask the tough questions, and I need to answer from everybody.
Yes.
Yes. If you could only play one game, one genre, for the rest of your life, what would it be?
We're gonna start with Jess.
a genre.
Yeah.
Genre, one game. Is it vampire? Is it
Jess, what do you got for us? Is she
Uh-oh. I can't hear you.
Can't hear
I
her.
can't hear you. I got a cute earring. No,
Let's try it
Sean.
again.
Anybody? All right, we'll start with somebody else. And why don't you start then?
Oh no, my microphone's not working either. I can't
Yeah.
decide.
Oh.
Probably medieval fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings, and medieval fantasy is what I started LARPing with like 20,000 years ago, and I always keep coming back to it. I just love the genre.
All right.
Yeah,
Jen.
fantasy.
Can
is
you hear
definitely...
me now?
Oh yes, there you are.
Okay. I have 3 microphones, so I'm trying to figure out which one is the one that's on.
Bless your heart.
So I'm good now.
You're good.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So what LARP would you do for the rest of your life? You can't do any other.
I would do fantasy because you can do anything in fantasy. So if I want to be a magical, mystical elf creature, I can do that just as easily as I could play a vampire. So I think it's much more, and I've done parlor LARPs and modern and sci-fi. I've done all of those, but I think the range of what you can be is so much bigger in a fantasy setting that it's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
You can do whatever.
Yeah, it's like the world is open to you.
It's almost cheating, but we like you, so we'll let you get away with it.
And she dropped.
And she dropped. I didn't do that.
She's gone.
Well, damn.
You're done. Bad answer.
You've been voted
Next.
off the island.
Voted off the island. Yeah. All right, Nick, what do you got? What's your fave?
My gosh, we're all gonna have the same thing to say because it's got to be medieval fantasy. I mean, if you're making me choose one, right? Because like
You have
sci-fi
to.
has a lot to offer. In fact, there's tons of genres that have a lot to offer, but medieval fantasy kind of like covers every little niche. So like the variety of things you can do. If you're limiting me to one thing, I can find so many things that I will find appealing in medieval fantasy. Whereas sci-fi, it might be like very specified. So if I'm limited to one thing ever, fantasy is the way to go.
And you agree with that, Steph, or what?
I do. I've always had like a reverence, a really great reverence for medieval fantasy. It's just always been something that's like very dear to my heart, and I feel connected to. And it'd have to be medieval fantasy for sure. See, I'm an elf and a vampire at the same time. See?
and
That's
choosing.
Isn't
medieval
that's a
fantasy.
damn fear, right?
Well, a damn fear is like a half vampire, but you know,
That's pretty close to what she is.
want to get into specifics? Yeah,
She's
yeah.
not real.
Yeah, we have a unique
not
race at
real,
Lands
like
of Exile.
100%.
We have a name for it. It's not quite like a vampire. It's similar.
What is it?
But
What's
the
the name?
Norat.
they're called. It's called a Norat, and so you have to be chosen, or you have to choose to become one, rather than, and there's a ritual involved, rather than like being bitten or whatever. But you do
cut
have
off your
to.
left pinky or what?
It's well, I've it's happened a few times in game. It's like a blood transfusion almost that you have to go through. But
You guys are really.
but then
scary.
you are required to drink blood for the rest of your character's life every day or
Is
every
it still
however
a
often.
sustenance thing?
Yeah,
Blood
well,
is
you
still a
can
sustenance.
still eat regular food, but you have to have in order to like not become feral. You have to have a certain amount of either animal blood or human blood.
Okay.
And to clarify,
Just
you don't
saying
drink
that.
actual blood unless
No.
you're really committed.
Not in the LARP.
No, we don't do that.
All right. Well,
It's good to know.
let's talk about personalities a little bit. Is there any aspect of LARPing that you find that is like contradicts a lot of what you feel personally? Like if you have a personality, no, what am I trying to say? Like, you know how shy people find it difficult to talk to people and, um, I don't know, party settings or whatever. Is there anything that you find that's most difficult in the LARP world that you find a little more personally challenging than others might?
I've got one, which is playing villains. Playing villains is hard because you're, LARPing with all of your friends that you love, that you want to have a good time, but to help them have a good time, sometimes you have to play a bad guy. And I think that it's difficult sometimes to actually act like the villain and get into the character, make it believable when you're looking at all your friends like, oh, I just want you guys to have a great time.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna be the bad guy, but not that bad.
That's true. My very first LARP character, I wanted her to be evil, but Stephanie is not evil, and so it always had that conflict going on.
All right.
I can't. It's very hard.
Yeah, the chat agrees.
Yeah.
Villainy is painful.
I don't like to be evil either, but I mean I am, but I don't like to be.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Somebody's got to be.
There's like 20,000 good guys. We need a bad guy.
But I think that's something that I've always loved about LARP is that if you want to try to work on like stuff with your personality, that like you wouldn't normally get a chance to work on, it's something to help yourself achieve goals and things.
Yeah.
I know, especially a lot of the community are introverted, anxiety-ridden individuals, and who don't like people, and but we come out for LARP, so
right.
It kind of helps alleviate some of that, because you're not you're somebody else.
Somebody else. Yeah, that was me on stage. I could do anything as the character. As myself, that's totally different. But as the character, I can do anything.
I do have an idea, however. I can pimp myself out as a villain to any LARP group out there. I won't hesitate killing anybody.
All right.
At all.
Well, yeah. Why don't you come on down to a couple of events?
Yeah.
You
Straight
are
up,
evil
I'm telling
enough
you.
to be a good villain.
Yes. I'm gonna get you.
Come play Vanguard. Come play LOE.
We'll get you that. We'll get you that boffer leg we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go get your roller skate for sake.
Hey, actually, there's a game this weekend, isn't there, guys? I mean, why
That's
wait?
right.
Yeah.
Vanguard is this weekend.
I only have a puffy shirt. I can't do it yet.
Hey, well, you know what?
I mean,
Fair Trade Armory and LARP Supply has some pants.
I've
in
heard
stock
good
right
things
now.
about them.
that's true. I was gonna offer to lend you stuff, but I'd rather that Stephanie get the business. So
Not to mention,
She's got
Nick,
makeup.
you're like this and I'm like this. It's like we don't
I have
fit.
plenty of things that will fit all sizes.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm a mammoth man.
Jay says he can
Huge.
see you turning into Dr. Evil.
Okay. All right, back to the questions.
Yeah, Steph is definitely a shameless plug, isn't she, Chad?
That's right.
Do
I
it,
love
though,
it.
girl. Get
I
it.
love it.
Get it.
If y'all have stores, shout them
Okay.
out.
Well,
Shoot.
if we're talking about plugs, somebody told me there's a documentary in the works.
For Lands of Exile, right?
Yes. So, Em, talk to us. What can you actually tell us?
Yeah, so I asked Tay Calloway. He is a master's student at Wake Forest University, and he's the one who is producing it. He's actually doing it for his thesis. And so I asked him today, I said, "Hey, what can I say about this? Because I don't know what I'm allowed to say about it." And this is the description that he sent. So the film is a story about community and how through Lands of Exile, a fantasy LARP, you all have been able to create a safe, tight-knit community where people are comfortable exploring their personalities, identity, gender, and more. Everyone plays their roles, no pun intended. You all step up to take care of one another, to listen, to acknowledge, to be present. It's a story about family, but in a fantasy world. And it's going to be premiering by next May, and it's going to be at a few film festivals, and then it'll be available online after it premieres there.
That is
so
going to be
cool.
awesome.
We're gonna have to get it at ConCarolinas Film Festival.
We are
Yeah.
definitely
Tom, Bill,
Oh,
Molly,
yeah.
Yeah,
Peter,
do a screening.
I wonder if there's some new board members that can make that happen.
Oh,
Congratulations
Yes,
to said new
indeed.
members.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Actually,
fold.
We're
All three of you.
all guests are board members right now.
yeah.
Except for,
Yep.
yeah, because Jess dropped out. She's not on the board, but
And I'm
she
Not
certainly
bored.
could be. Yeah,
But-
because she's married to a board member. So I don't know if you can serve. Because,
I do serve.
yeah, she does serve. Probably better than I do. I call her up and say, babe, we're about to vote on this. What should I answer?
Whatever you want.
But congratulations. We're very, very happy to have you guys. Steph, you were a board member already, though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Now you're-
This
now you're-
will be my second year.
But you're executive board member now.
Yeah. Yep. Get to make the big
Moving
decisions.
on
Help
up.
make the big decisions.
Yeah, you beat out some really good-looking, clever dude for that position, from what I hear.
Some
You mean
salt
So
you?
now.
congratulations. No salt. There's
Oh,
some
yeah,
pride
none at
there.
all.
If she can beat me, she can beat anybody. No, it's fantastic. We're really happy to have you. I'm really happy to have some common sense on the executive board. I'm joking. To the rest of you executive board members,
To us common folk.
to you common folk, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're really excited to have you guys, and we're hoping that you can spark some imagination and creativity, because that's what you guys do on a day in and a day out basis. You're really just creating something out of nothing. So
it's definitely going to have, a great impact for the con to have you guys with us. That's going to be amazing. So I do know that it's official. For those in the audience that don't know, we will be expanding to a second hotel. So for this group of LARPers, are you guys like on board for that? Are we like, hey, let's get some more events? This is a big space that we could utilize. Are you guys chomping at the bit for that?
I am super excited.
I have wanted to, so we've been running a couple like LARP events for the past couple of years at ConCarolinas, and what I've really wanted to do was take an indoor space, convert it into like a haunted house style thing where we can control the atmosphere, like turn the lights off, put our own lights in, black lights, whatever we need, decorate the place, put up some fake walls, and have people come through and go through and get a little taste of what LARP's like in an immersive storytelling experience where we can really control the environment and do what we will with it, and do it more than like one session, do it like multiple sessions throughout the course of the weekend so that everybody who wants to has an opportunity to come through, see what we're all about, get used to some, light LARP mechanics, but really just like play through this fun narrative story together.
I like
And
it.
bring
That
the
would be
costume.
awesome. That reminds me of some puzzles and perils that we may have done.
Ooh, yeah, we did that before. So I like this part. Okay, let me just explain to you that the regalness and pageantry and just flavor that the LARPing community, has brought to ConCarolinas has been amazing. I love the way you guys walk through. I love the way you guys hold yourselves. It's so mesmerizing. It's almost like watching Lord of the Rings. Okay, so that's a huge compliment coming from me because that's like one of my favorite movies of all time, or books, whichever you want to go with. But I don't want to lose that type of pageantry that you guys bring by maybe separating, because there's been some talks that maybe the LARP group should go over there or do whatever.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
Expansion.
What are your thoughts on what you want to do with this space?
I feel like it would be, and I'll make it quick. I feel like it would be a great idea to have maybe a little bit going on, maybe some of the more extreme like rooms, like Nick was talking about over at the new place, maybe, and but keep some smaller things still going on over at the Hilton, where we can kind of draw people over there.
I love that because that way it'll take people and they'd want to go there, especially word of mouth. They'll come back and say, you guys got to go over to this and see this immersive, beautiful thing that they put together. It's a really good idea. Anybody else have any thoughts on it?
I think communication is going to be key, like making sure that people know that hey, this is going on here, but then come back for this, and making sure that it's publicly posted, because my intention isn't just to go off to one hotel and spend my entire time there. I intend to kind of float back and forth and get the full con experience, and I think that most guests would probably feel the same way. So just making sure they know when there's time to take a shuttle, and then how to come back, and when those timelines are, and then also with us, if I'm running something, making sure that I run that with fidelity, and I actually when we say it's going to start, it starts. When we say it's going to end, it ends. So that people can get back on their shuttle, get back over, and maybe go to a creative writing panel.
Yeah, I tell you, when we did Puzzles and Perils at Mace before the pandemic, we were going to do it at ConCarolinas, but we built a 5-room escape room, like medieval escape room in a 45 by 45 foot room. So it didn't take a whole lot of space for us to create a magical, mystical environment. So it's very, very doable.
It is.
Jess is back.
Hi, Jess.
Sorry, hey, our internet's spotty. I think it's the weather.
Yeah, it's raining here too. But for those of you that are in the area, if you check out the game realm, those dungeon walls were all built by that guy.
And my team.
And your team. Yeah, your team.
This is the game realm in Salisbury, North Carolina, for those that don't know.
Yeah, my bad.
And it doesn't look quite as good as it did, when we had it all spooked out with the light. Lighting is key. It's everything,
Key.
But yeah, when you go into a fluorescent lit game place, it doesn't quite look as creepy or.
It's definitely not the same vibe.
Not the same vibe.
Not the same vibe. But it's good. And I think it's going to be really good having the extra space, having you guys on board because of what you guys bring. I think 2023 is going to be an amazing year for the con. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Not to mention your dance parties. Awesome, off the chain. Especially Nick. Nick was the star of the video. He's like in every freaking scene. I kid you not. And he's always dancing and doing this thing. It's beautiful.
He is
I loved it.
He is promoting.
I had a
I
very
loved it.
good time.
It was
I'll
awesome.
just leave it at that.
All right. So in the LARP world, what events are coming up that you're excited for? You mentioned M that there was an event this weekend coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Nick talk about that because that is Vanguard, which is the event that he runs.
That's
Got
a
it.
big thing.
Yeah, my game. We have an event coming up this weekend. I'm super excited for. I've written a bunch of content for it. I'm probably gonna break some hearts this weekend, but you know, for the best. There might be some there might be some tragedy, but hey, it's all worth it. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. And yeah, we've got that coming up this weekend. Then we got another game coming up in August, and really until the end of the year, we've got every month a game coming up.
One every month.
Mhm.
One a month.
Not bad.
All
Who
right.
else has got something coming up?
There's an August event for Lands of Exile. It's like a one-shot game. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it's a one-shot game about venturing way back into the past. So like present day Lands of Exile, is after like a bunch of war with the elves, so it's going back in time. It's a one-shot about what leads up to one of the wars of history.
All right.
Sweet.
Not bad.
And we all get to play like different characters because it's, of course, set in a different time period than the normal set of setting. So
So is
I'm
everyone
excited.
on the panel playing in that game? The one shot?
I am. I don't know about everybody else.
All right. So have you already started working on your new character?
Well, actually, so they did a thing where they could have there's a few pre-generated characters that they had, and I just chose. I didn't really care, or I kind of wanted to see what they would throw at me, and they've given me a kind of a role to play. So I'm taking what it is, and I am going to build on that and bring a bunch of props and cool things. So I'm excited.
All right.
I
Sweet.
like it. And she's got a store too. So.
And have a store. Yeah, that helps. When I need something, I'm just like, well.
Let me pull that out of my Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah.
How cute.
I like it.
All right. So what about you, Jess? Is there an event that's coming up that you're excited about?
Well, I will be at the event this weekend. We leave tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm very excited about that. I'm a little concerned about the breaking some hearts sentence.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be good.
Gary dies.
Oh no, you killed
no,
her.
no.
She was so mad about the idea of Gary dying. She
Ronald,
rage
stop
quit.
talking to her. Every time you talk to her,
Haunted.
she's back. Okay.
I
If you're not allowed to
snorted.
talk to her.
I achieved snort factor. Yay. Okay.
Okay.
So
Pepper
you
wanted
are.
to be a part of this, so
What's that?
I said, "This is Pepper. She wanted to be a part of this."
Yeah.
Hi, Pepper.
Cats and podcasts. It happens.
It works.
We just roll with it.
But I
It's a
think
thing.
killing her off just proves why you should be the villain this weekend. You're gonna make a great villain, babe.
Who's gonna be a villain?
You are. You're evil.
Yeah.
People off the podcast.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah.
Jess has done
I
quite
got
a
some
bit
extra
of.
horns for you if you want them.
Ah!
You know.
They're just laying. I love how we're just like,
on my,
hey,
on
wait.
my bald head with the horns. I would look like the pick of fucking destiny.
Look, I have a really evil looking purple. Well, you can't tell that it's purple in the, but
Do you
it's
know what
purple.
I have?
Like a
I
dark
have
purple
this.
dagger.
Y'all have swords and stuff. I have this.
That's Batman. My world is Batman. What is that?
It's an even
Sword.
eviler looking sword.
That's an evil looking sword.
That's the sword I need.
That was carved from the branches of the tree that my father hung from, and I'm gonna come get you. Okay,
Okay, already developing your character.
it's fabulous. Okay, so free for all time, promo time, pimp yourselves out. We're gonna start with because she's got
The
a
Queen of
store.
The queen of
Let's look the queen of props because she's got everything. Steph, tell us, pimp yourself out.
Well, the name of my store is Fair Trade Armory. That's fair with an E at the end. And I do have a website, fairtradearmory.com. However, I do not sell things from my website just because I sell things in person. I will, however, tend to ship things occasionally or meet you if you're in the area and need something. My main priority, though, as I go to LARP games, I set up both at Vanguard and Lands of Exile with the store, and occasionally I do Comic Cons like ConCarolinas. I'll also be at Charlotte Comic Con coming up August 7th on a Sunday at Embassy Suites in Concord. I'll be there all day there. So, and I think that's all I got right now.
Social media. Does anyone need to reach you social media wise?
Oh yeah, so I do have a page, Fair Trade Armory on Facebook. I also have Instagram, but I'm not on there as much, and a TikTok, but I'm not on there as much. Facebook Messenger is probably the best way to reach me if you need to message me for LARP props or anything. I'll do realistic weapons and sword, just like the one that Nick held up. I sold him that one actually, and costuming and prosthetic ears. It's pretty much anything leather goods, pretty much anything you'll need for your LARP experience.
So you're like the Walmart of LARPing.
I am,
Okay.
yes.
No.
Only not as tyrannical.
No, definitely.
Right.
I'm much nicer.
All right, Nick, pimp yourself out.
All right. Well, as it's been mentioned several times, this coming weekend we've got a Vanguard event going on. It's probably a little late if you want to purchase a ticket for this one, but August 19th through 21st, we have another event. You can find us at vanguardlarp.webs.com if you want to find ticket information, or just go into Google, type in Vanguard LARP NC, and we're either the first or second link. You can also find us on Facebook. If you just search for Vanguard LARP, I'm sure that we'll be there. You can also reach out to me, Nick Barone, on Facebook. If you have any questions, just send me a buzz and I'll be happy to get back to you. Looking so much forward to our next few games. We've got some really cool stuff coming up as we're working towards like the climax of our season and getting ready for our season finale in November, I believe. So yeah, the next few games are going to be super exciting. I hope everybody that is listening is interested in coming. And also, I'll be playing at LOE. So with that, I think I could hand that over to M.
All right, Em, pimp yourself out.
Okay, I have a couple. So, one, we have the August event for Lands of Exile that's coming up, August 12th. And then we have, if you're into Westerns at all, like cowboys, we have got a Western, well, we call it Southern Gothic, because it's more so kind of like based out of like Appalachian kind of lore. We've got that coming up September 2nd weekend, and that is called Amnesty LARP. And then we have 3 LOE Lands of Exile events coming up this year in September, October, and November. And then we just launched a new event that's called Requiem, which is a horror survival LARP. It's zombies. So, zombie apocalypse. The theme is kind of like The Walking Dead, and that's going to be the weekend of December 16th. So if you're interested in any of these games, our website's kingheron.com. And again, it's Lands of Exile, Amnesty LARP, and Requiem LARP. I'm sure if somebody is in the chat for Twitch, if you could drop those links, that would be appreciated, please. Also the Vanguard one.
She's in charge. She's giving directions.
Boom.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Am I not supposed to do that? I'm sorry.
No, I
No,
don't.
no, absolutely within
No,
your right.
direct your people because that's exactly what they need.
Okay.
I know Jess is not on here. She does have a Facebook page for her crafty stuff.
It's
the name escapes
Yeah,
me.
she has an
It's
Etsy
wild.
shop too.
It's Wild Banshee Workshop.
Yes.
Wild Banshee Workshop, and that's her Etsy too.
Yeah, she has an Etsy. She does some incredible things. She like designs digitally some designs, and she'll 3D print things. I know that recently, like we got from her some like LED light up mushrooms. So like you just either plug them into a
Oh, I've
power
seen
source, or
them.
you put a little battery in them, and they glow. They look
Yeah.
super good. But she can do a variety of other things too. She does some costuming. She sews. She creates armor. She kind of does everything. So I'd definitely check her out.
Oh, absolutely. All right, guys. So it has been an amazing night, and we want to thank you all for coming in. We've got some stuff coming up on the BSBN network. Thursday, Sunday, and Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. It's the Blue Skirt Boys Adventures on any of the channels. Just log in. Somebody somewhere will figure it out. After that, at 10 o'clock, it's going to be Zarknor After Dark on Ned's channel. Fridays, we've got Digs with Kings live with our special guest, Buttercup, is going to be on their channel.
Yeah, Buttercup.
That's on Dondero Streams. And then after that, it's Freak Out Fat Boy Friday on
Oh.
Hope's channel, All Hope. Saturday, you're going to have Saturday Shenanigans with Miko. She does a little bit of everything because she's just amazing like that.
Yeah, she'll do some crafting, some gaming, all kinds of different
It's
things.
Miko. She
Miko.
does it all. That's on her channel. And then followed on 4:30 Eastern time. Yeah, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Great Big Bear's channel. He's got D&D 4D. It's a lot of D. Bear, you're gonna have to talk to me about the D. Dungeons
He's doing
and
D&D
Dragons
for D?
for
That
dummies.
doesn't- Oh,
Dungeons
for
and
that.
Dragons for dummies. But that is a lot of D. Sunday at 1 o'clock.
That's a big D.
You've got Waking Up with Nana and Pep Pep. So that's on the Nerd Mom Ace channel. They're talking about trauma, and I've got a lot of it right now. So I'll be there.
Mostly
Monday.
me.
Monday is a busy, busy day for the BSBN. You've got Auntie and Unc tell you all about it at 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central. That's on Miko's channel. 8:30, you're going to have Dondero 101. That's just a whole lot of crap. It's John, so there's a lot going on there. It's John.
John Darrow.
And then
Expect the
they're
worst.
going to raid right into Nerd Mom A's channel with Aruk's Happy Hour at 9:30 Eastern. Wednesday, you've got the Dweebs, Weebs, and Interweebs. Then at 9:30, you're going to have D-Wayne Post Show with Tainted Jet. And then that'll bring you right back to us on Thursday. So tell us what we're doing next week, Bronner.
We are going to take a look into the paranormal. So a lot of maybe some Falstaff authors on the paranormal subject of paranormal will be joining us, along with Cher Lambeth. You probably know her from costuming. She's also very much into the paranormal scene. So we've got our first CCTV paranormal, new branded CCTV paranormal show coming up next Thursday. So
That'll be nice.
we're excited for it. I'm scared already, but that's mostly because of Nick. And Devil Eyes or Demon Eyes over here. Emma's got the eyes. You've got
Well, I've got colored contacts in too. They're just
that.
really good.
Oh god! But hers are like from Supernatural Demon. Like
Oh,
Sclera lenses.
yeah. Oh my goodness,
Love
scary.
it.
All right.
Get some.
Well, we're gonna be taking y'all to Great Big Bear show. So we're gonna raid over there. So everybody that's in the chat, stay tuned. We want to thank our wonderful guests for being on the show. We greatly appreciate it. You did a wonderful job. Amazing, as always. And again, and congratulations once again for being elected to the ConCarolinas ConCom. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
guys. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Bye,
very
everybody.
much.
We'll see you next week.